Thanks for joining us here on Indivisible. I'm your host, John Stubbins, and we are thrilled to have you with us this evening, America. Got a great show for you tonight. I can't wait to get into it. But before we do, I just want to go over a couple of things. First, big shout out to President Trump. He's had his plate full this first month, and he's really rocking it. His appointees have all pretty much been confirmed as far as I know. I've had a couple snafus, but got them through. Also, go to johnstubbins.com right now where you can get involved with our American Anarchy Project, which we're kind of contemplating right now whether to turn into a documentary, which we first had planned it that way. But I've had a few suggestions that we might turn this into a full-length motion picture, and I think it would be gripping, especially with the people that we have on the conservative side, on the acting side and directing side, people like Mel Gibson and John Voight and others, Kurt Russell, what have you. So you can go to the website, again, johnstubbins.com, where you can donate, you can get involved, send us a message if you want to get involved as an investor for the film project. But it's going to be amazing, and we're really, really looking forward to it. Also, make sure that when you go to the website, you try our new coffee line. This is our Pledge of Allegiance coffee line. It is fantastic. Stop buying at Starbucks. Stop buying at your local grocery store, and you can help veterans. We're 100% veteran-owned and ran, and all of our bags deal with our branding, not just for American Anarchy, but also my show, and then also our breakfast blend, which is phenomenal. All of them are really, really, really tasty coffees, so you're not going to be disappointed by any of them for any reason, but we ship them right to your door. So it saves you the work, and you're going to get outstanding Java. I guarantee it's going to beat anything Starbucks has and anything that your grocery store has. So we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Again, this is the show we put God, family, and country first, and we will always tell you the truth.
Here's to the overlooked, the overworked, the underappreciated. Here's to the fighters to preserve our freedom, our liberty, our rights, our faith. Here's to the workers, the farmers, the first responders, and those who serve so bravely in our military. Here's to Americans who proudly hold tight to our values: God, privacy, freedom of speech, life and liberty. Here's to the patriots who love this country and everything it stands for, who should never be canceled for believing in America and the blessings of liberty. Finally, there's a bank for you, Old Glory Bank, named after the flag that represents the fabric of this great country and the people of Old Glory Nation, the engine of America. Now you have a bank that values your values. Now you have a bank that stands with you, no matter where you stand. Old Glory Bank. We stand with you. Member FDIC.
He was a victim of the unlawful crime.
If you don't trust them, you think they'll leave.
Greatest civil rights violations in American history.
Their investigation.
A window into the Trump campaign.
Unfortunately, it can happen to anyone.
And we're back. I want to bring onto the show my friend. He is the co-founder, the president, and CEO of Old Glory Bank, which we just love Old Glory Bank. Mike Ring, how you doing, brother?
I'm great, and I can tell the world that you were one of our first fans, and you reached out to us before we were even partners, and we're talking about it. So I want to thank you, John, for being here from the start.
Well, we're thrilled to be a part of it, and we look to do more. We advertise.
I gotta get you some new videos. I'm sorry, you don't have our latest greatest stuff, so that's on me. I'll get you. So tell your fans, and fans, So you've got some new videos coming.
And I'd be happy to do a spot myself because I believe in everything that you guys are doing and doing it for Middle America, for the forgotten veterans and first responders, police force, fishermen, hunters around the country. It's really amazing because I do a lot of work with Hunter Nation. Keith Mark and Ted Nugent, Donald Trump Jr. joined our board of directors last summer heroically.
I didn't realize that you were a part of. We do a lot of work with Pursuit as well. Have you done some things with the folks at Pursuit?
We are involved with Pursuit and Pursuit Up, and it's crazy because I've got so much Hunter Nation merchandise. It's everywhere, man. I've got the mugs. I've got the hats behind me. I went to a special event. It was really cool. In fact, let me check here. I probably have some photos of it. This past summer, we were up in Wisconsin at a wonderful gathering at the Milford Hills Hunting Club, about 50 miles west of Milwaukee. And the crazy thing about it is it was literally, there's one shot I have. I don't know if you can see me behind Nugent here in the background. I'm sitting there right behind Ted, and you can't see her, but his wife's right behind Rock right there. We've got, there's Keith at the front of the table with Rock, and Don Jr. is also sitting at our table. He's got the empty seat right there. But it was a really special event because we had this private event inside. Then we had a private event outside, basically announcing our partnership with the new NRA leadership, which literally just took place. So,
that's great.
But what's crazy about it is Don Jr. literally joins our board of directors within a couple days of his dad being shot. So that picture that you just saw, that was 2 days after President Trump was shot at that rally. Wow. Isn't that crazy? And Don still showed up.
Yeah, I've become a fan of Trump's granddaughter, Don Jr.'s daughter, and in the golf videos she does are really, they're hoot. She just rode around her dad like 45 minutes. I watched it. It was really fun.
Man, well, they're really great people, and we want to do everything that we can to help. And he's doing a heck of a job, even with the resistance. The nice thing about it is, it's great that President Trump had that first term, so he could kind of, because he wasn't a politician, he didn't really know Washington. Now he knows, so he can avoid at least maybe not all of the landmines, but some of the landmines, right?
Yeah, I'm with you, John. And I'm of the camp, and I think more and more people are on the same camp. And Trump will never wish that this happened, but I think God actually had a plan. I think God wanted him out for 4 years to come back in, because if he had stayed in those last 4 years, he would have lost 2 years with COVID and then would continue to have the resistance. He would never have the cabinet he really wanted, the vice president he really wanted. And now it allowed him. So I think the country's going to be better off, and God had a plan.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And by the way, folks, Old Glory Bank is a full service FDIC insured digital first bank for business, consumers, political organizations, created to be the answer for debanking, defunding,
government snooping.
Right. Yeah.
We ain't giving the government your private information. Trust me.
I mean, everybody knows that watches this show, whether it's live on Hunt Channel, whether it's on my website, whether it's on social media as they rerun, everybody knows how bad I've been censored, shadow banned. I mean, you name it. They've done it all to me. They defunded me, demonetized me. They tried to screw me. I mean, basically, and it cost us a full year we used to do a 1 hour show, cost us a full year because of what these fools were doing. And that's another reason why I applaud everything that you're doing, Mike, with Old Glory. And by the way, folks, we're scrolling Mike's info down at the bottom. The website is oldglorybank.com. You should go there and check it out. Get some information for yourself. They're based down in Oklahoma, Elmore City, and customers from all 50 states. And you guys are growing like crazy, right?
Yeah, we doubled in size last year. We hope to double again this year. I think we're the fastest growing bank maybe ever. We started off buying a little bank in Elmore City, Oklahoma, one branch, beautiful bank. The bank we bought was started in 1903, 4 years before Oklahoma even became a state, called First State Bank. Changed the name to Old Glory Bank. The one branch is still there. There's beautiful ladies working there. We're about an hour north of Route 66. So if you're driving across America, stop. We'd love to see you. We always got a gift for someone who comes from out of town. But because of our great technology, we serve customers in all 50 states. We grew from 10 million in deposits to now over 180 in less than 2 years. And it's
that's saying something, Mike.
Yeah, 1,700%.
You should be proud of that.
I'm proud of the team. I just get to be the good-looking guy on TV, and the team does all the hard work.
Well, look, since 2023, you've added 2,000 small businesses, 55,000 retail customers. That's phenomenal. You guys are growing. You're doing the right thing, and there is no DEI at Old Glory Bank, folks. Only PSL, which is privacy, security, and liberty. Which is
how easy is that, my brother? No DEI, no ESG. Everyone here earns it on the merit. PSL, privacy, security, and liberty. It's like the simple stuff.
All right. Look, I want to get into some fun stuff here because you recently testified up on Capitol Hill. I want to get into some of that video and do a little bit deeper dive. So I'm going to play some of the video, and then I'll pause it at certain points, and then we can come back and talk about it. How's that sound?
I'd love to do some behind the scenes. I don't know about how many people have been in front of the Senate. It's my first time, so I'd love to talk about it.
Well, it's going to be my first time too. It's exciting. All right, I'm gonna hide us for a minute and put on the video. Stand patient for just a moment.
Debanking, which is where the big banks debank you, and that is the voluntary effort by the big banks to debank Americans who disagreed with them on the issues we all know, whether it's COVID, the vaccines, supported Donald Trump, including his wife, who was debanked, as we know, and other conservative causes. But instead of sitting around and complaining about it, we all got together and created Old Glory Bank as a market response. In less than 2 years, we grew from 10 million in deposits to now over 170 million in deposits. But our service is in Durant, Oklahoma, not offshore. In the last 2 years, 229 banks closed. Only 8 were started. We've lost 73% of our banks in the last 40 years. It is not sustainable. We have got to make it easier to start and run banks.
Some of America's banks have been discriminating, debanking customers because of their religious beliefs, because they support the Second Amendment, or because they hate fossil fuels.
Well, I think it's been publicly reported that Bank of America has certainly picked and choose winners.
Who else?
I think Chase Bank has.
Who else?
I think Citibank has.
Who else?
I think KeyBank has.
Who else?
I'm going to probably run out of names pretty soon, but I think the mega banks are. Old Glory Bank is not, of course. We love the Second Amendment and fossil fuels.
I appreciate your candor. Why do you think, are banks doing this because they're scared of the regulators? Or are they doing this because the people running the banks are prosecuting their political beliefs? When a bank holds a seminar to discuss whether a man can breastfeed, are they doing that because regulators are leaning on them? Or are they doing that because the CEO really thinks that's subject to debate?
I do not believe the regulators pushed the big banks to debank conservative causes. I do not. I think it was their internal choice. Big banks pick and choose winners that they care about. That's why we need a market solution, because you can't regulate that type of behavior without having unintended consequences.
The Biden administration took several actions that likely contributed to the debanking of crypto firms, which effectively prevented banks from holding digital assets in custody. These actions collectively helped create an environment where banks became reluctant to work with crypto firms, fearing regulatory backlash.
Well, I like to say that I'm standing between the regulators and America, and I'm the only bank executive who is not intimidated by the regulators. And it's one thing that there could be some challenges holding a customer's tokens, but to think you could not be that legal business's bank account was the real problem with FIL 1622. And thank goodness it's been exposed. SAB 121, I don't know how that passed the laugh test, To think that if you're holding a customer's crypto, that you've got to book that as a liability and then put capital against it is ridiculous. And thankfully that's been rescinded.
And one of the aspects of crypto, it's a rather new phenomenon, is that it seems to be a very often used vehicle for financing of places like North Korea, financing of illicit activities.
I am not in favor of the amount of delegation law enforcement has done on banks. If you're checking out at a grocery store, does the cashier and the bagger have to let the police know you bought some chemicals? Of course not.
That's kind of one segment of the video, Mike. Let's go ahead and tackle a couple of those pieces there. Last part of it was crypto, but before that, and you were getting into the DEI, the senator was talking about it. Go ahead and expound upon that. I want to do a little bit deeper dive on that.
Yeah, so, Senator Kennedy, is he not the best? He always comes prepared, always makes questions wonderful. I was so honored. We had 4 witnesses up there that he called on me, and we got to spend some time together.
And he's a funny guy.
He's the best. Just love him, and I hope he never retires. I'm sure he won't lose. I hope he never retires. But let me kind of just back up and say how I got there. A little country banker ended up in the Senate talking about debanking. So what had happened is, Operation Choke Point 1.0, what everyone has talked about from 2013, that Obama put in place to stop banks from banking the firearm industries. Everyone's talked about it. It's been exposed. It hasn't been fixed yet. And a lot of big banks still won't bank the firearm space. We love the 2A space, and we definitely bank them. And then fast forward to 2022, the Biden administration puts in Operation Choke Point 2.0 to squeeze out crypto and legal crypto companies. There was no reason to do it. And they did that through the regulatory. So I've said that there's regulatory debanking, but really why Old Glory Bank started was because of the political debanking, people like you being debanked, Dr. Simone Gold, one of our customers, John Eastman, President Trump's lawyer debanked, just thousands of people. J6ers we bank all the time because there's no reason they shouldn't have a bank account. And so we have always said that the political debanking is the one that I blame the banks on. The regulatory debanking, you got to blame the administration on that. And, they are who they are. But I think it's really weak that the political debanking happened. And so that's why we started. So when I heard that Chairman Scott was going to do a hearing on debanking, I just sent a blind email. Literally, I did the whistleblower email, didn't even think anyone even read those emails. And I just told them about our story. And I thought, I'm never going to hear from them. The very next day I hear from his team. They're excited about what we've done. They had heard about us, and they talked to me for a day. And I thought, it was just a nice blow you out because we got some important people, Secretary Carson, Larry Elder, who you could see in that clip, and some other.
Yeah, I love Larry.
Yeah, Governor Fallon from the great state of Oklahoma. And then they had a talk with me. I figured they were just going to, Ring, it was good to talk to you. So they kind of a blow off that they give you in Hollywood. And then the very next day, like 3 days before we're ready to go, they invited me. So I had to quickly get together an opening statement. It's kind of like the dog catches the car. What do you do now? I never thought that I'd actually have to testify. So I had to put everything together, didn't know how it would work, really show up green and unaware. And thankfully, some of our friends went, from Larry Elder, you saw, Governor Fallon, Bill Shine was there, the co-president of Fox News. And it was just great. And there was really no rehearsing. It wasn't like they said they would give me these questions. I just had to be ready.
Sure.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did it, and we're going to be sharing. And I tell you what, and here's the other beautiful thing. The nice thing about this show is once we do get it aired, I'll give you a copy of the show. You can share it wherever you want, which is going to include not only our discussion but the video itself. So it's like a double educational for everybody out there. It's interesting. They bring up the crypto. The crypto, it's becoming more and more relevant in discussion out there. What's your personal feelings on the crypto?
So we listen, I'm not a personal investor in crypto, and not because I have any.
I'm not either.
Yeah, about it, but I don't own gold either. I own bank stock. I'm the largest investor. My wife and I own Glory Bank, and it ain't even close.
God bless you.
Yeah, we're not other people's money people. We are the largest investors, and so, but I've always been a believer in crypto as an asset class and as an asset that people should be able to hold and trade and do what they want. So what had happened, the way they actually did, just some inside baseball, the way the regulators, the FDIC primarily, started Operation Choke Point 2.0 to choke out banks from banking crypto was this little financial information letter. It's called an FIL. It was 1622. It was the 16th one done in 2022. It came out about April of 2022. And it said that if you want to be the bank for crypto, these are the 30 things you've got to do. And you've got to meet with us and tell us what you're up to. And then if you complied with that, they send you a letter and say, oh, it's too much for us to take, pause. So a bunch of banks sent the letter. I ignored the letter. I knew it was BS. I knew it would never.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's because I'm a lawyer first and a banker second. I'm like, there is no legal way that they can tell us not. So we have been banking crypto. Now we don't hold and trade in crypto. That's beyond my that's beyond my brain power. But we are the bank, the on and off ramp for crypto. So if you're a legal U.S. crypto company and your customers want to send you money, use Old Glory Bank and send them money with Old Glory Pay. If you're a crypto exchange or a coin minter and you want to send money back, if you're legally operating, then you use Old Glory Bank. And so we have been in the space for a while. We just haven't been bragging about it. But thanks to some lawsuits, this FIL 16 was exposed. But the other thing that was happening out there, and I know it was in collaboration between the FDIC and the SEC. The SEC in the same month of the same year, April 2022, put out a ridiculous staff accounting bulletin. It was 122, SAB 121, 121 and 122, I forget now. And it said that if you hold a customer's crypto, not even your crypto, so let's say you wanted to put your crypto token keys in our vault, we had to treat that as a liability, book it, and put capital against it. And that is ridiculous. There's no theory that should have happened, but it was merely the SEC working with the FDIC to squeeze and choke out crypto. And I knew that was BS as well. And so thankfully Trump, first week in office, rescinded SAB 121. And then the exposure of the FDIC, they're not even looking at, FIL 16. So that is how they choked out crypto, but we're all in on crypto. So if you're a legal crypto company in the U.S., we don't have the capability yet to bank you if you're offshore. But if you're in the U.S., call us up. We'd love to have your business, and we'll take care of you and your customers.
Awesome. That is great information, folks. Get involved. Again, oldglorybank.com.
We ain't afraid of nothing. As you can tell, meeting me.
What's that?
I ain't afraid of nothing. And I certainly ain't afraid of the FDIC and the SEC.
That's why I love you, Mike. That's why I love you, brother.
Thank you, brother. How about that coffee cup? You all got your coffee cup? Go to oldglorybank.com.
Yeah, I need one of those cups.
I'm going to get you one with some new videos, I promise, John.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with Mike Ring.
Hunter Nation is the ultimate we the people in the conservation community, holding our elected employees accountable to the hunting, fishing, trapping, freedom lifestyle that has brought wildlife back to the healthiest and most thriving condition in our lifetime. HunterNation.org is the epicenter for freedom and wildlife conservation in America. I am Hunter Nation.
We've tried so many of Mike's products at MyPillow. Whether it's the Giza Dream Sheets, the MyPillow mattress topper, or whether it's the MyPillow towel sets. Me and my family here at Indivisible, we've tried all of Mike's great products and we just love them. My mom loves her robe. Mark loves the big dog bed for Shakespeare. And my favorite, the moccasins, which are really great for my feet. Save up to 66% off for MyPillow products for you and your family. Go to MyPillow.com and enter the promo code INDIVISIBLE for my show, or call 1-800-716-4639 and give them the promo code INDIVISIBLE for my show. You're going to love it. We're back with Mike Ring. Mike, I wanted to ask you, just for the people out there, they go to oldglorybank.com. How do they invest, become an owner, get involved that way?
Well, thank you for that. A couple of things going on. So one is open up an account at Old Glory Bank. We have the best products and features. I know John's been talking about it, but we have every product and feature that the big bad wolf banks have. And your bank is always, where's my phone? Your bank is always in your pocket when you bank at Old Glory Bank. And you can do everything on your phone that you used to be able to do walking in, from deposit checks to move money around. So you can open an account in 8 minutes. And we solved one of the other big things about online banking. It was a friction point for people to move their bank to an online or digital first bank. We have a branch, of course, in Elmore City, but so I say digital first, but to a digital first bank, because you're like, hey, I get a little money. I do a couple things. I have some cash. How do I deposit it? Well, we solved that. We have Old Glory Cash In. You can walk into one of 88,000 locations, all the places that Middle America shops. I'm sorry, it does not work at Starbucks, but it works at great places like Dollar General, Walmart, Walgreens, Publix. I'm sorry, not Publix, Kroger's, CVS. Our truckers can walk into Pilots and Love and deposit cash. So everything you can do on and walking in a branch, you can do online at Old Glory Bank. It takes 8 minutes. So what happened is as we grow, and again, we doubled last year, hopefully, God willing, we grow again this year thanks to the great customers that we have, double again this year, is that we have to keep putting our own money, our investors' money, capital on the balance sheet of a bank. Like an insurance company, a bank needs capital. And so that requires us to keep raising capital. And we have not wanted to take any Wall Street money. So as you've heard us say, keep Old Glory Bank owned by Main Street, not Wall Street. And so we went to earlier in 2024, we went to our customers and said, hey, do you want to invest to become an owner? It was overwhelmingly positive. I think we raised like $10 million from our customers. But because of the way we were doing that raise, you had to be accredited. And basically that means you're a millionaire. And people reached out to us and said, Ring, how can you be a bank for Middle America if to become an owner, you have to be a millionaire? I was like, wow, you're right. I've been a securities lawyer for 30 years, so I know these rules. I'm like, man, what could I do? So we said, the heck with it. We're going to do the hard work and do a mini IPO. It's under Reg A so that now everyone who's 18 years and older can buy our stock, accredited, unaccredited. Now there are limits that, of how much you can invest of your wealth of the company. And you shouldn't invest more than those limits anyways. In no particular company should you ever invest more than what these limits say. But you can go to oldglorybank.com and there's a link, or you can go to own.oldglorybank.com. Our price is $7 a share. The minimum investment's only $63, Deuteronomy 6:3. We all love that. We all love that phrase. And that chapter in about how Moses is reaching out in the land of milk and honey, heading into the promised land. And so please invest. If listen, this may not work. Thankfully, it has been working. You've got to watch my video and go through the whole presentation. You got to read 300 pages of our offering circular to make an investment. Of course, you have to do that. But if you want to be an owner of Old Glory Bank, I think you can get in. Again, I'm all in. My wife and I, our entire life's work is in. We're, millions and millions and millions of dollars we've invested. And we love having co-owners. Since we've done this at the end of Christmas, we launched. We've had 4,200 people come in and invest to become a little owner of Old Glory Bank.
Man,
just crossed $6 million, and we're so blessed and so honored.
All right, well, that's phenomenal. We're going to go back to this video again. I want to take another look at it before we sign off.
Debanking. The good news is we agreed that there's debanking. I think that should be the first headline. Is it easy for a small community bank, let's say, for example, in Montpelier, Ohio, to compete with JP Morgan Chase or Bank of America?
It's almost impossible. I find that about 75% of our time is spent serving regulators and only 25% serving customers. And when you're on small margins of a community bank, you cannot compete with the big guys easily. Now, we're working hard at it, but it's very hard.
Yeah. Mr. Ring, you work hard to protect your customers' sensitive personal information, do you not?
Yes, sir.
And you wouldn't just turn it over to anybody who walked into your bank, would you?
No.
So should an unelected billionaire be snooping on Social Security payments, say, for example, to my elderly parents? Would you agree that that was wrong?
Well, if you're talking about Elon Musk, I believe the unintended consequences of that is probably offset by trying to save taxpayers money, and we haven't found a better way to do it yet.
And so you believe that your clients and other elderly people who find that someone's snooping around on their Social Security payments, that they would be okay with that?
I don't know Elon Musk, but I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're looking at actual taxpayer monies going out the door.
Mike, any last comments? We've got about 30 seconds.
Isn't that the best? Senator Alsobrooks was part of the talking points that day. All the Democrats wanted to hit us up. They didn't care about debanking. They wanted to talk about the CFPB and Elon Musk. So finally, I had enough of all the stupid questions about Doge. And I just said, oh, you mean Elon Musk? I can assure you, he's got a lot going on. He's got a lot of money. He doesn't care about your grandma's Social Security number. Trust me. It was just the best.
That's exactly right. Mike Ring, everybody, co-founder, president, and CEO of Old Glory Bank that we love and we support. Go to oldglorybank.com right now and get involved. Mike, great having you on the show, brother.
Thank you, man. I love you, John. I appreciate everything you're doing.
I love you, man. I'll be in touch. Yeah, I want to definitely get some new videos and got to get a coffee cup.
Dude, you will get a coffee cup plus a mouse pad and some other stuff. I didn't realize I hadn't gotten you any swag. I have not been a very good partner, but that changes today.
No worries. I love you, man. God bless you.
Talk to you soon. God bless.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Indivisible with John Stubbins is proud to support my friends Jim and Angela Holland and Set Apart Farms.
Faith-led and family-driven, we're doing things a better way for veterans and their families. For all the ways to get involved, go to setapartfarms.org.
And we're back. Great show tonight. I just love Mike. He's a patriot and a great American, and we just love him. Folks, been great. We'll see you next week. God bless you. God bless your families. And God bless America.